Hey everybody, it's your boy J-Mont back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the opposite of nice girls finish last. So, why do nice girls finish last? Well, in American society today, our culture is based on a hookup, not vetting, not long-term, not marriage, not building family structures. So if you're a nice girl, aka the woman who can cook, who can clean, who knows how to take care of a household, but has a mind on her shoulder, you know how to do interpersonal communication between her and her man, and has a healthy relationship with her family, more than likely in this environment, you're like a one percenter. That's a rare gem. You're basically the equivalent of $1 million man or billion dollar man, because those qualities have become so rare in our society that most girls who don't exhibit qualities of a wife, mother, long term partner always call themselves a good girl, and always crown themselves as the victim. And the victim Olympics, most modern American women always win gold because they don't take accountability. Most good girls do not. Here's the thing about good girls. Good girls, they might fall into the trap of being with the girls that will socially and economically degrade them over time. By that I mean you're with the trap girls, you're with the girls who like to fight, smoke, all these other bad qualities in a woman, but you might be a good girl. Now understand this. If you have a foundation of a good girl, but you do things of a bad girl, that does affect you long term prosperity wise. I would say Mother Nature gives girls their gifts, Father Time takes them away. By that I mean youth, beauty, and fraternity, which is most guys are looking for. If we really think about it, like, nice girls aren't really built to succeed in this society because we teach them to be independent instead of interdependent. Tell them to go for money instead of looking for the man's character. Most women nowadays they're very high competitive from this. They will literally F you, F your brother, F your friend, and then they'll be like, you're the one who hurt me just because if you cheated. And you know what? Cheating is stupid, in my opinion, because if you're not feeling validated for a person, just leave them. But here's the thing about men and women cheating that I never understood. Men cheat because it's a scarcity mindset most of the time. If you're if you're younger and you're getting a lot of women coming after you, which, let's be honest, young men get preyed upon by older women. These teachers keep going left, right, especially African American men who they literally see as a sex object. So you're telling a Caucasian female or another race female who teaches these young men who are young, athletic, and don't see them as sexual predators. I mean, that's just common sense out the window, to be honest with you. But let me start over because I lost my point. The point about this is how nice girls finish last in the race. Most nice girls, if they're very socially accumulated, will not be with these party girls. They'll be looking for a long term. Back in the day, it used to be that a nice girl would be the smart, pretty one, or the smart one who she's smart, but she understands how to get a man. She understands how to take care of a home. You see, being smart used to be a boon because a smart woman can teach her kids. Because instead of have delegating yourself to outside the home, like working all this other stuff, you'll dedicate yourself to the kids and raising offspring. What does that mean? Well, that means that our boys who aren't reading at a 10th grade level, I believe actually it might be lower, but I'm just going to say 10th grade just to be safe, would not have that problem because their mothers would be smart enough to help them, teach them and stuff. That's why men grew reverence for their mother, wanted to protect them because they protected them when they were young. They taught them a lot of things from like 6. Then they learned from their father, who taught them how to be a man, how to take care of his woman. The whole family structure has broken down, and it's not particularly. It's actually an accumulation of things. Basically, every small negative factor has built and created this gigantic mothers, from fathers out of the homes, from mothers not being chaste. By chaste, I mean this: women are not relegating who they fuck. They're having babies by Pookies and Ray Rays and stuff, Bens and Alexanders. People who can build a family. And now in today's day of age, women usually have their fun until 30, 35, and then say they want to settle down and start a family. Well, let me just use common sense. When, geriatric pregnancy, all this stuff can put your life at risk. We already know birth rates. You will probably, it's always dangerous to have a kid. That's why they always say if you have it younger, it's better to bounce back. Why is it better to bounce back? Because it's common sense. The older you get, the more your body breaks down. The younger you get, the more you can be recover from breakdown. That's just common sense. So that should work with birth as well. Birth, women wait into their 30s. Here's the thing: you start having your first period around 13, 14, sometimes younger, sometimes older. Depends on the woman, but just the teens. Back in the day, men used to be in the trades, used to then have to go to high school. Why? Because we understood the biology of ourselves and we understood that we're putting responsibility on a person. So we taught the kids, bring us to be more responsible, and then that's how they grew up. Nowadays, women are taught not to be responsible, even having kids, which is the ultimate privilege and show of just love because you're helping pass on your genes to the next generation. A woman can do with just a random guy who they just feel at the moment instead of think long term. And that's how everybody gets screwed up. Now, how does the nice girl finish last? Well, nice girls finish last because typically they're encouraged by negative influence, such as their friends, who are in this city girl culture to hook up with the boy that they find attractive and feel is attractive because he's desired by other women and stuff, thinking about the boy who is working hard, putting his head in books and all this other stuff. We can see in our entertainment as well because most parents are usually busy working. They put their kids into watching movies, all this other stuff, internet. And what you see in the social entertainment is they're conditioning social programming. Is they're conditioning girls to say, "Hey, the nice guy, he's lame, but the bad guy, he is so dangerous." They go through emotional turmoil, getting scars, having all this stuff, and then they try to go for the good guy. And in all this media, all these medias, the good guy takes her in. Now, let me tell you something. As a man, that is very discouraging. Just point blank, period. Because you're telling me I had to watch the woman I will feel attracted to or love go through all this heartache, pain. I couldn't do nothing because she chose like, hey, you aren't good enough. I'm only good enough when she goes through enough pain and turmoil and be like, oh, he's safe. And that just tells you that they don't value a man and what he does because the nature of a man is to provide and protect. If a good guy is technically the guy who's providing and protecting and will has a long term future. If she's this, if she chooses you last, that doesn't mean you won the race. That means you get leftovers. That means that every other guy has ran through her and destroyed her. That is the degradation of the good girls because when she listens to all these wild girls, city girls, she becomes a hurt girl. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes they grow out of it and they be like, "Hey, man, I want a guy." But here's the thing: when I hear a very smart, educated black women say that when they who met their partners later in life, I'm like, can you describe the kind of guy you were with when you were young? They say, well, I was with the Pookies and Ray Rays, but I grew and changed and learned to appreciate it, man. No, you learn to appreciate resources because we all know there's a finite amount of time that we have on this earth, and to be alone is kind of fucked because you can have access, something to take care and provide for you. The difference between a man and a woman in that situation most of the time is nowadays thanks to technology stuff we can relegate the duties of a wife out. We can outsource this if you have enough money. For instance, you can have your meal prep, cooking and cleaning, have a woman maid come over and clean your house. Literally a meal prep is like they could cook you a big meal of whole week, put it in the freezer, and you could just boom, boom, microwave. You can work as late as you want. You can do as much you want. And if you're sexually frustrated, there's plenty of ways to do that. Literally, I will promote. Uh, we call it escorting or something nowadays because I feel like men in general do not have the sexual experience that an average woman does. The average man is technically the average men are more virgins than women, and in society that kind of is fucked up if you think of we're like hunters and gatherers. So same thing with women. So if you're thinking that you're screwed, man. This is a long rant. But I could touch on a lot like what I'm thinking topics. Nice girls finish last because how our culture is set up. They're not protected by their mothers who are technically in the same dating market as them if you think about it, because you have, first of all, they have the kids young and old. So that means if you have your kid when you're younger and then you're not taking care, you're not with the father, so you're in a broken home already, then they'll be looking to date and stuff. So if you're not really committed to a relationship, as we all know that women take advantage. Look at Jada Pinkett Smith. She said she was sleeping with a 15-year-old when she was 22. That's allegedly the rumors, but we can see that in her older life she had an affair or had a relationship, a entanglement with her son's friend, which is all levels are wrong. You don't mess with a homie's girl, sister, or friend. If you do that, that means there you have a lack of character. Even a mother who does that has a lack of character. And I'm like, whoa, because basically the nice girl is competing with not only her friends but her her mother nowadays because of how dating has got really weird, right? So, and then the mothers have been documented on news and stuff to be super jealous of their daughters when they're dating, sabotaging their relationships. If they're old and single, they're always giving you this combative things when they're in a healthy relationship. Here's the thing too. A woman should have a covenant or a group of women they can come to have discussions and share their feelings and thoughts. But if the covenant is poisoned by a sick mind that is always independent stuff, interdependent, and it doesn't have a long track record of having a relationship, most girls, because of the social grouping, I don't think they're smart enough to understand it. Only when they get screwed over do they understand, like, hey, this wasn't good for me, and then they cut that person out. But it has to hurt them in the feelings instead of thinking. Because if you're thinking somebody's always giving you negative comments and stuff like that, you don't want to go around that because it's not encouraging. Uh, Nice girls are. I mean, I'll be honest with you when I say this. I feel sorry for both nice guys and nice girls, especially nice girls, because nice girls should be protected at all costs. They should be every guy they want to date or interested. They should be vetted by a male that usually it used to be their fathers, but it should be a healthy male that's not sexually intimate with them and that wants to provide and protect from and look out for the best interests. That's what a nice girl needs. Now, I would say a father because I don't know about mothers nowadays. They can nurture you until you're young, but they don't teach you how to be a adult in most instances. They teach you how to be a woman. They can teach her how to be a woman, but most women nowadays complain about doing the bare necessity of cooking and cleaning, which is basically survival. I know how to cook, clean, do all this stuff. I can make a five-course meal. I know how to do lawn service. I know how to build. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to survive. When a woman complains that she does uh, cooking and cleaning is hard. Here's the thing: if it's hard, you can allocate those outside as well, because you're a social group. You can come in and clean her maybe once, twice, just to keep the upkeep. It's really discouraging when I hear the degradation a woman says when there's simple solutions, especially when I hear like calling good girls pick-me's. You're telling me a girl who says, "Hey, I haven't been sleeping around. I know how to cater to a person. I know how to treat a person, and I know how to evaluate a person for a good moral compass." Here's the thing, too. If a girl has done city girl life and has been a bad girl most of her life, do you think she has the emotional or mental intelligence to vet people properly to be around your kids? Because her toxic traits will be passed on because you have to think about it, you might not be with the kid all the time. And here's the other thing about taking care of the kids. Most women nowadays is two-parent work household. That means you're working and daycare. So that means you're not around the kids to implement the ethics and morals into the kid as well. That might be a plus or negative comparative if you're a good or bad girl. If you're a bad girl, being around these other people might be good, but we also understand that the people who aren't your family, they could be preyed upon, right? If you're a good girl, it might be bad because you're not around the kids, so you can't instill the morals and ethics in the culture, which is basically a city girl, wild girl culture. It will be installed into that little child. So it's protection, provision, all this other stuff. It really matters. So, how do nice girls finish last in a race? Most nice girls, which are part of 1%, don't have anyone protecting them and showing them how to be a better person or a good human being. So what they learn is to be the toxic traits that are passed down. Instead of thinking, they go mostly in their fields and act out like children do. You're supposed to teach children to think through and then act. Most women said, "Well, I'm a woman, so I'm supposed to feel." Yes, you're supposed to feel, but that doesn't mean you're supposed to act. You're supposed women process, I believe, might be my biased opinion, is feel, think, act. Men's processes think, feel, act, right? Because if a man is too engrossed in his emotion, he can kill someone because that's how we're built. Emotion, anger, fear, stuff, then we lash out violently. If it's a state, fight or flight. So it makes perfect sense. This video has been going quite a long time, so I'm just going to end it here and says, nice girls finish last. Mostly because of how they're raised, the culture, and it's hard out here for them to find a qualified man. I would say if you're a nice girl and you want a good guy, you have to find someone to vet them. If you like a guy, get someone to vet them. If you really want to be in depth, get a PI or something. You have to. A man has to have his credit straight. He has to have his not debts paid off. He has to have provision, protection, and look. Most of these men will be over 30 if you're looking for someone that can really get you a solid foundation. Do not be with the man who you say I can build with if you're a nice girl. Because it's just how we're raised. Most girls have their value when they're 18 to, I would say, give you a medium average, like their value decreases over time, 40 because of just how children. And men usually have their value 30 and increases plus, mostly because the resources. And I just dating, like age gap dating, was very common, like not even 20, 30 years ago. But we have demonized it. We have just gone against human nature. We are saying that if you feel like a certain gender, you are a certain gender. And my sense on this is this: we're getting really close to having technology where if you just want to be a girl, you can be a girl. You can have menstrual cycles, you can get birth. I'll give it the way technology is advancing, it will soon pass and now be okay. But until then, you have to keep in mind that procreation is a key aspect of any race and culture. So you cannot procreate if you want. Our culture will die off. We'll get invaded. And be perfectly honest, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because that has happened throughout human history. A lot of cultures have died. Even in Roman language, which I think Italian or Roman, I forgot which one, the language is lost. So we're popular cultures will probably live on. It's a give or take. I don't know what that last tangent was about, but I'll just say, women, nice girls, please look for women who are in the healthy long-term marriages who can help you look for men and be in places where these high class men are. And please just protect your image, protect yourself, because it's hard out here for everyone. All right, this has been your boy J-Mont. Thank you for listening, and have a nice week.